I call to order the meeting of the mayor and council, of the Borough of River Edge, October 17th, 2024. Regular meeting advised, revised agenda at the River Edge Library, 685 Elm Avenue, 7 PM, and also remotely on Zoom. I ask for a moment of silent prayer and reflection for all of our soldiers and all of our police officers who put themselves in harm's way each and every day. Councilwoman Kaufman, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Statement of compliance of the Open Public Meeting Act. This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act by notification on January 11th, 2024 of this location, date, and time to the town news and the Bergen Record, and by the posting the same, the municipal bulletin board and the borough website, and filing notice of the same with the municipal clerk. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Kaplan.
Here.
Council President Montesano Collins.
Here.
Councilwoman Kinsella is currently absent. Councilwoman Mallari.
Here.
Councilman Benson.
Here.
Councilman Glass is absent with prior notice. Mayor Papalia.
Here. Okay, could I have a motion and second from any member of council to approve the minutes of the mayor and council regular and closed session meeting of September 23rd, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. If you need to abstain from one or both, please feel free to do that. All in favor, please say aye.
I need to abstain from both. I wasn't here in that meeting.
Very good. Okay, item number 6 on our agenda, presentation, veteran banner presentation. Ray, come on up. Ray, you gotta say your full name. Oh, come up to Jason. Full name and address, Jason, just full name and role in the borough.
Raymond Stitz, 210 Mohawk Drive in River Edge.
Jason Molito for superintendent of River.
Okay, Ray, this is a wonderful proposal.
Okay, good evening. Thank you for giving me the time to discuss this very good project that we
Yeah.
want to do. As you know, a lot of towns have started to put up the banners in honor of veterans that have served the community. So Jason and I got together and we decided, let's do this for River Edge also. So firstly, what I did, I got out a printout of addresses and everything of everyone in town that currently gets the veterans deduction on their property tax, and there's 186 of those. Now, there could be more if they live in apartments in town, because they wouldn't be eligible for the deduction. But that's what we're going with, 186. There might be more, there might be less. And what we would like to do, if I can show you, oh yeah.
So you're
Yeah,
referring us now to the handout, Borough of River Edge Hometown Heroes.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
What we're gonna do in 2 phases. First of all, the addresses that we have, we're gonna send out letters and this application in the letter for the people. Then what we will do is get this put on our
Website?
Website.
our website, which will give a little explanation of the hometown heroes and an application that they can send in to the borough hall and with a check payable to the borough, and the borough will hold that money in escrow for us for when we order this the banners. The banners, we estimate right now $200 a banner. And that will cover the banner and
All
the hardware.
Yes.
Okay, and the hardware, the banners we're looking to put up from May until November. And then we'll take the banners down because they won't survive that whole year up. And you can put up the holiday decorations or whatever on the banners.
So for the public's benefit, the reason why Ray is suggesting, Mr. Sitz is suggesting May to November, because it's from Memorial Day to Veterans Day.
Right. And I am going to have a person in town, he's retired Army Colonel, and he's gonna help me, vet the applications, because what we're gonna do in the beginning, because we don't know how many applications we're gonna get versus how many polls we have in town.
Correct.
And we're gonna limit it to combat veterans right now. And there's a military form DD 214. If you don't know it, don't worry. Only if you're in the military, you know it. It's a DD 214, and it's a bio of where you've served and what action and what awards you've received, like the Bronze Star, the Silver Star, Purple Heart, and everything. And we'll get those, and we'll decipher who has met all the criteria. And then we will move forward with ordering the banners and everything. The banners will be ordered in November and March,
April.
November and April of each year. So if someone misses this deadline, we'll catch them up on the next deadline. Okay, so this way it'd be a routine going forward and everything. And if there are any damaged banners, well, we have enough monies where we can probably, replace one or two at a time. Okay, gave you a listing of all, we're gonna go through Gates flags. They're in Clifton. And they've listed here all the towns that they do throughout the state. So it's not a fly by night, and they're very good at it. And when he gets here, I'll show you the actual banner. The cost. I gave you a cost sheet there also. And there's a 18 by 36, 24 by 48, or 30 by 60. Jason feels that 18 by 36 would be the best, because it wouldn't be hanging out into the street that much, nor would it be hanging out into the sidewalk to disturb anyone who's walking. So, and there's all different cutoffs of 100, we can get it for $65 a piece, and so on and so forth. Now,
Why we do the bulk order. That's why we ordered twice and we haven't sent once.
right. Okay. I gave you also a sheet that has different varieties of the banners. And what we want to do is, we looked at the first one there that's sort of circled. And we would like to do that, because it has a stars and stripes. And it was a River Edge Hometown Heroes. And, that's the one we would like to see. Then in that, he can incorporate, if the person has various,
Medals, if you look at the last one on the page.
Yeah.
One with medals around the picture,
Oh,
he can put that into the banner as well.
and there are various medals that they would offer. And I'll share that with the group later on, or I can make copies, because I ran out of time, and hand it over to you.
So. All right,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No.
No, I'm sorry. I was gonna say.
And this way we can incorporate, if the person did honorable service and got some awards, we want to note that also on the plaques, on the banners. So and if the person does not have a picture, because it requires a picture there, he said he can do something like this,
Silhouette.
a silhouette of a person, military person, And a lot of towns will do that if you can't come up with a photo.
Okay.
Now, what we want to do, since a lot of towns are doing this now, we want to just limit this to River Edge. If you lived, living, or past tense, you know, we want to honor those people. If the person has a father that grew up in Elmwood Park, but his kids want his picture here, no, they have to go to Elmwood Park and get into their program, because we want to take care of the River Edge veterans.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's only fair. So, and Jason, you have anything else?
Yeah, just logistically, like we said, the banners will be purchased twice a year. I did talk to our CFO, so it's no problem setting up an account for this, to hold.
Trust fund.
Yeah, trust fund to hold over. There will be a section on there where donations will be accepted for the maintenance. That'll be put on the banners to help us continue it or fix any damaged banners. Mr. Ray did go over, the poles could be universal. So when they do come down in November, we'll be able to use them for either holiday, season greetings, whatever. We can use that later on our decorative snowflakes and everything else that costs a little more money. So this will make it a little cheaper. We will be doing everything, putting them up, taking them down, so there will be no cost or any of that, no overtime, no nothing. Talk to the guys, they have no problem doing it. The poles we're looking to use is we would start out here on Continental, where all these new poles in this parking lot just got placed. We'd go into Memorial Park, use those poles as well. And then we would start on the decorative poles on Kinnecamack, from Hackensack up to Reservoir, every other pole, so it wouldn't be every pole. And then, because we would still need to hang decorations and everything else on them. And then it'll be Main and Grand. And then as soon as that's all filled up, we will continue up Kinnecamack Road to the Oradell border. So every other pole would have decorative banners eventually. Ray did also mention how it's only gonna be, as of right now, as for active military. That was in a conflict. We're gonna see what we get on that. If we feel like we have a lot of the active military already, and we have a lot more polls, then we'll open it up to a little bit more, who served. We wanna try to get as much as we can, for our veterans. But we don't wanna get overwhelmed where I don't have enough polls to put, all the signs up. So I'm sure our veterans would understand that,
So an incremental approach,
yes.
absolutely.
And then, pretty much, that's where we're at. That's,
Okay, so the council, you have a proposal that I think is we should support, that would be my opinion. Does the council wish to enter into discussion? Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Absolutely.
Just wondering, are other towns asking the veterans to pay?
Yes. I checked Cliffside Park. I used to live in Fairview, so Cliffside Park gets $200
Okay,
a pole. Rochelle Park gets $150
okay.
a stanchion. I didn't check with the other towns, but I can and get back to the mayor and council. With prices.
I also checked with some towns. They all do pay.
Okay.
The borough, if the fund doesn't have maintenance fees, the borough will pick up if there's a red flag here and there. They just do not lay out the full amount. Which I feel we will get donations, whether it's from, town residents or our businesses. So I'm not really concerned about that. If it does happen, we can always make it work, I feel, with what we have.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that was normal.
I have a
And of
question.
course,
I think this is a fantastic idea. Thank you for doing it. The $200, is that in perpetuity, like forever or per year?
so what's gonna also happen is, no, that's just for in perpetuity. Hopefully the flags, if we do it right, that's why we're putting them up in May and taking them down in November. They do not handle well with cold. They are a harder plastic, so they tend to crack and rip with the wind. So we feel these flags will last at least 3 to 4 years. And then, of course, if they do go down, we can reach out since we have all the information from the people. We can reach out and say, you know, the flag has been up for 4 years, it's weathered, you know, move on. Or we can start doing an internal replacement plan if that's something with the money that with the extra money we have for the maintenance. We can just automatically start redoing that.
And so that would be a decision, if you approve it tonight, that would be a decision for future councils. So they want to, you know, require the original petitioner to, and it would be less, it wouldn't be the $200 because the brackets are already up, you know? Or do we want to cover it, through internal or some mixture of that? So there would be, but that would be really for a future council.
And
And the money that we put in the trust fund will be used solely for the flags.
Yeah.
So, Jason won't be borrowing it to do other things around town.
Trust me, she won't let me.
I do have a question, just to reiterate what you said, Mr. Melito. How long does the flag tend to last?
Truthfully, around the way we're doing it, since we're not keeping it up, anywhere between 3 to 4 years. Of course, you know, if you have a hurricane,
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna try, obviously, I'm gonna try to take them down if we ever have something of that, so we don't lose them. It wouldn't be that hard to do, so. But truthfully, for unforeseen things, I would say 3 to 4 years without, you know, bad weather.
If I may.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, like, so if you're on a poll, do you get the same poll next year?
No, that's another thing. So there will be no poll selection. When we put them up, we're just putting them up, so there wouldn't be a poll selection on the application. Or people coming down, I want it here, I live here. It'll be directed directly on the polls that we decide, and it might not be on the same poll year to year. Because I can't number them.
Because logistically, it's, you know,
Against manpower.
Yeah, and just numbering, and I'm looking at numbers and,
So in essence, whatever poll we get is what we get.
yeah, and then next year it might be a different poll. You might be
Yeah.
on Main Street this year, but next year you might be on Kennecott
Okay.
coming in.
we spread it around.
So I get a sense that the council is in support of this. So what I need is a motion and second to approve the concept and the preparation of a trust fund resolution. So that this could move forward. More details would come up, can be reviewed at the time of the resolution. So is there a motion to approve the concept and the creation of a trust fund?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Oh, this is wonderful. Ray,
Thank you, Mr.
Jason,
Stitt.
thank you so very much.
Thank you.
You just want to thank him. So he educates you all the time through it.
Thanks, Ray. Awesome. Be careful with those words.
Yeah.
Good job, Ray.
Thanks, Ricky.
All right. Okay, could I have a motion and second to open to the public on any item on the agenda only?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone on a remote or anyone in for something on the agenda? Give it about 15-20 seconds,
Just raise your hand.
No,
and
no,
I'll let you
but
speak.
soon.
Doesn't work.
Okay, could I have a motion and second from anyone on council to close to the public for any item on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, could I have a motion and second from anyone on council for appointment and personnel changes after I've read them into the record? Approve the salary increase of Joel Gutierrez, Department of Public Works, from a tree trimmer, step 3, salary 68,506 to tree trimmer, step 4, 70,960, due to satisfactory completion of his CDL, that's commercial driver's license, requirement, retroactive to September 23rd, 2024. Approve the resignation of Salvador Ciccone, I believe, SLOE, that's Special Law Enforcement Officer, Class 2 in the Police Department, effective September 22nd, 2024. Approve the resignation of Kevin Doan, also SLEO, but class 3 in the police department effective September 26, 2024. Approve the resignation of William Levine, crossing guard in the police department effective September 3rd, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, there are monthly reports is item 9, land use, September and August, environmental protection and green team, September, and tax collector, September 30th. The public who like copies of that, they need to only contact the clerk's office to get to request that. Okay, there are resolutions. We have a revised agenda. We've added 2 resolutions, 24-314, 24-315, which moved the payment of bills to 24-316. Is any member of council wish to ask a question before we move 24-305 through 24-315? Does any member wish for us to hold out for a separate vote? Could I have a motion and second to move resolutions 24-305 through 24-315?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Hearing none, it is unanimous. Could I have Councilwoman Kaufman as the Finance Chair and Budget Committee Chair move 24-316 payment of bills?
Yes, at a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, held on October 17th, 2024. Be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge approve the following expenditures. Current fund, $3,116,656.81. General Capital Fund, $484,018.11. Grant Fund, $39,279.88. Animal Control, $3.60. Trust Other, $2,424.67. Payroll, $20,789.24. Developers Escrow, $3,547.50. Recreation Trust, $4,637.45. So moved.
Could I have a second from someone on the Finance Committee?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed, any abstention? Hearing none, it is unanimous. Is there any new business? Is there any old business? Ms. Apartella, if you could give us a brief update on where we are with capital construction roads, that'd be great.
Sure. First, I want to start off though with the best practices inventory. It is an annual survey. Every municipality must complete this and it assesses compliance with various laws and evaluates implementation of fiscal and operational best practices. There are a total of 69 questions, 17 of which are unscored. The minimum score to receive the final full aid payment from the state is 35, and we received 42 points. So the
Stop right there. Let's hear a round of applause for that. And this is because of our BA, our clerk, our superintendent of public works, all the members of our staff working together under Lizette's leadership and others' leadership to make that possible. So we are very grateful. Keep going.
Yeah, so the CFO, Borough Clerk and I, we all worked on the survey and we certified it on the Department of Community Affairs website. Submissions are due October 25th, so we are early. And part of the process is that we have to report that we did the survey and what our score is. So with that, then I could move forward with our infrastructure programs. First and foremost, PSE&G, they had committed to full curb-to-curb paving on most roads within the area bounded by Howland Avenue, Kindercomack Road, Fifth Avenue, and Manning. Milling began on October 3rd, and it has a projected end date of the 21st. According to our borough engineer, the subcontractor is currently on schedule, meeting all project milestones. Paving started on the 10th and is scheduled to be completed by Thursday, the 24th, weather permitting, and the contractor is on track to meet the timeline. The layout for striping along Bogart Road between Howland and Wayne was completed this past Monday, and final striping is scheduled for October 19th. And the project, like I said, is progressing as scheduled with the final completion of October 24th, weather permitting.
So I want to emphasize, if we could, Ms. Sabatella, that this is a grant created by the federal government and the state that, and there's no property tax expenditures for the majority of this work. This is, so we're getting basically updated gas lines. We're getting milling and paving of our roads without incurring any major capital debt upon our residents.
That is correct. So our next project are the 2024 ADA ramps. The contractor completed the main project work, including intersection restorations and cleanup activities. Restoration, which was previously at 80%, is now fully complete. The borough engineer is actively working on generating the final punch list, and any resident complaints are being addressed as soon as possible during this time period. Brookside Park, Gallon Contracting completed the installation of the new stormwater management system, regrading of the park entrance, and the asphalt pathway connecting Concord Drive and Monroe Avenue. Installation of the playground equipment is being done by Game Time and is for children aged 2 to 5 and 5 to 12. It began and is currently underway. And this is another project that is on schedule and expected to be completed by the end of October. And then once final payments are issued and we have proof of the canceled checks, then we submit all the documentation over to the county, because we did receive in 2022, the open space grant from the county. So it is a reimbursable project for 50% of the construction cost.
So again, savings to our property owners.
Correct. And with Bogart Road, Section 7 and 8, those are DOT, Department of Transportation grant funded programs. The curbs and sidewalks and ADA ramps on Section 7 will begin in the spring. We had gone out to bid for Section 8. We rejected the bids to substantially revise the specs, because originally Bogart Road Section 8 was to be milled and paved, but that was taken care of under the PSE&G project. So the borough engineer is designing the new bid specs, which would focus on expanding the concrete curb, sidewalk, ADA ramps, and signage.
And so all of these improvements, the majority being done by grants that do not impact our taxpayers, are increasing the curb appeal and the overall property value of our towns.
And our infrastructure upgrades, and like with the park, it was a safety issue raised by our joint insurance fund.
Yes, so wonderful. Council President, I believe you have a few things you would like to
Sure.
talk about.
Yeah, so as a liaison to the DPW, it's my pleasure to announce, just to communicate to the public a few of the successes they've had in the past month. On October 5th, they had a pepper shredding and oil antifreeze collection. It was extremely well attended. They were able to collect 40 gallons of motor oil, 3 gallons of antifreeze, and had over 50 residents to shred documents. And they're planning to do this in April and October, so twice a year, starting next year. But most importantly, the 2024 tree planting will begin Monday, October 21st, with a total of 112 trees to be planted across town, with priority given to residents that have actually requested the planting.
So that's very important, because that's part of our Shade Tree Advisory Committee.
Correct.
And that's part of our commitment to be restoring the canopy, which again improves the overall well-being of the town, as well as our property value and our curb appeal.
Correct. And any questions the residents may have regarding trees, tree bond, planting and removal should be directed to the DPW, to the attention of Mr. Melito, directly to 201-310-8221. The numbers are in the borough website.
Excellent. All right. Anyone else for old business? We'll also have council comments, and I have something I want to say on that, but we're going to hold that. But anything else under old business? John, did you want to say something? No, okay, thought so. Okay, so if there is no other old business, then I'd like a motion and second to open to any item, or open to the public on any item they'd like to speak on.
So,
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
You don't have to sit, but we welcome you to. You have to give us your full name and address and you get 2 minutes.
Okay, my name is Arthur Zimmerman. I live at 90 Lakeview Street. For those that go down Lakeview Street, I have the covered truck that used to be the River Edge plumbing truck that I put in the parade when it's running. All right, I'm here and it's fortuitous actually that Jason is here. I've been speaking with Jason since last summer. Lakeview Street is lower than Bogut Road, if you can envision this. So the houses, I'm on the east side of Lakeview. The houses on the west side of Bogut are maybe 10, 15 feet above. The town, no houses existed on Bogut when my parents built our house in 1940. They came up Bogut Road, and what happened was some of the houses actually are lower than the street. So what they did is they took a right of way, the last 3 feet of the people's property on Bogut, and made it, we called it the ditch. Runs all the way down. The town is obligated to maintain that ditch. All right. They haven't been doing that since about 1999, 2000. So what happens is in these bad storms we're getting, the people drain their gutters and leaders into what should be the ditch and ends up in our backyards.
Can you just give me your address one more time?
90 Lakeview.
Okay, go ahead.
I've been talking with Jason, and he'll be able to give you maybe a little more information from his point of view. We need that done. As kids, we used to play on this, and this ditch goes from 3 or 4 houses north of me all the way down to the house. If you come up Valley Road to Lakeview, that's where it stops, behind that house. I haven't been down, I walked down a few houses with Jason last summer. I have not been down the whole thing. And what's happened is trees have grown in there. One neighbor north of me has put a wall in, a railroad tie wall blocking the ditch. It needs to be taken care of because we had a storm, one of the bad storms we had. And I looked at my neighbor's yard, literally there was 3 inches of water over her whole backyard. And that ends up in my yard and then in my basement.
Okay, that was your 2 minutes, but
Okay.
we're gonna keep you here for a second. We're gonna extend. Jason, can you speak to the council about this?
Yeah, so this is a piece of property that we own in between both out, like Bogut Road and Lakeview. It's a 3-foot easement. We did have it surveyed last year. I did have Jason Flores with me from Cost Engineering. The borough did survey it out last year. The issue is it's an easement that the borough owns and it's a swale. So there's not really, it's coming off a hill from Bogut and going right down to his property. It's like a swale down, and the swale used to catch the water. The issue is now with all these houses that are getting built, again, the bigger houses, more water is coming down into that swale. The problem is there's not much the borough can really do about that, and we can have the engineer here whenever you need to or talk to him. There's no way out. So the problem is the swale only goes behind the houses. There's no way to the street. We don't have a right of way. So there's no way we can put any kind of drainage back there that would work.
So we have no access.
We have no access and we have no easement to the street in between homes. We only have the access behind homes. And the access goes pretty much from 2 houses up to Reservoir from him, all the way down to Valley and stops dead. The easement also off shifts. So which means it starts going down straight and then it kicks down 3 feet and goes again. So the problem we're having is twofold. Trees did grow up back there. We could take them down. That's not a problem,
But we need authorization to come on their property.
yes, to get to them, but we haven't had a problem yet. There is stuff built on the right of way, which we are going to be talking to our code official and work that out. I actually just met there with Jason again on Tuesday, off Monday. So we're starting the process. We're just seeing how to go about it and what we can do. And at this point, there's not really a whole lot we can do. It's not considered a drainage easement, it's just considered an easement. So we're trying to figure out how we can remedy this, but I don't think there's a solution to remedy this.
Okay, Mr. Zimmerman, what is you're looking for from the town? If you could put it into a single sentence or close to it.
For the town to be responsible for the water from the houses on Bogart.
Yeah, we can't be responsible for that, I don't think, but we will do
You are
this.
though, because you allow them to put their water into this ditch, which doesn't exist anymore, except behind my house. I've maintained it.
So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna ask for our borough engineer, our zoning officer, to work with Jason to review Mr. Stanian. Also, our borough attorney, what would be our obligations and what would be our authority, if any. And what we can do is, if you could give the clerk your home phone number
Sure.
and an email address, and we can get back to you in about 2 weeks, I think. And we can have a discussion with where that is, whether we have the authority, whether we have the ability, and what would be our responsibility, and what mitigating plan we might be able to create.
Okay, just as a note,
Sure.
I understand Jason explained to me the extent of the redoing this, and it's massive. But something has to be done. I don't know whether this is a viable option, but to have the people on Bogart drain their water out to Bogart Road. Then nothing has to be done back there. And I don't know what I'm saying dynamically, I mean, that has to be determined, but.
So that would be not something we discuss here.
No, I'm just gonna discuss something else. The issue is it's the older homes, so it's not the newer homes that have seepage pits. It's the older homes.
I know, but
Yeah.
that's not for us to
Yes,
discuss here.
Gotcha.
Because this isn't a debate. I did extend the time because you were here to give the council a better understanding. But we have to maintain our open public meeting process rules.
Okay.
So we're going to have our professionals look into that. Jason, I definitely want you to talk to Tom about this, and as well as Steve, and and Mr. Zimmerman will hopefully get back to you within 2 weeks with what we can and can't do, if there is anything we can do. All right?
Okay,
All right, thank you, Mr. Zimmerman.
thank you.
Thank you. Ray, you want to show us yeah,
First, I want to introduce Adam Reich. He's town
Ray, you just
resident.
gotta say your name and address again. Sorry, it's the rules. And you get 2 minutes, Ray.
Okay, I promise. Ray Stitz, 210 Mohawk Drive, River Edge.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we have here Adam Reich, he's town resident, retired colonel. And we have Joe from Gates Flag. He's gonna be working with us. And here's just a sample of what the banner is gonna look like.
That's quite beautiful. Would you show the public? Great. Thanks.
And you can see it's heavy duty. That's why we don't want to keep it up during the winter time.
Yeah, because that's going to get,
And Gates been doing this for a couple of years now, so
You want me to come up and,
if you can keep it to under 2 minutes.
well, actually, 1 minute, 20 seconds.
all right,
You have to say full name and address.
all right, full name Joe Puglisi, 22 Francis Street, Totowa, New Jersey.
Okay.
So I've been with Gates Flag for about 5 years. I'm the head of the custom department there. I'm also their lead graphic designer. We've done these banners in about 50 to 55 towns throughout New Jersey and probably another couple dozen all throughout the country. So this is one of my designs. This was made for Leonia recently on Memorial Day, so they're coming back with their second batch. We have a ton of different designs that you could choose from, but this is the one that Ray liked the most, and I also happen to have a sample of it, so it just worked out beautifully. So I heard these are going on your black decorative lampposts, so 18 by 36 is the size here. That is the size that's appropriate for those lampposts. We already announced 2025 pricing. It is quantity based. Do you happen to have them here or did you give them to the mayor?
Yes.
Okay,
We do.
beautiful, perfect. Okay, so that saves me a little bit more work because I did not memorize those numbers yet. But yeah, any questions that you guys have in terms of the materials or the work that we put into these? I'm all ears.
So I'm gonna let the council do that after we close because we are in the process of opening to the public and it is not a debate back and forth.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No problem.
And Colonel, thank you
Thank you.
for helping out. We really appreciate that.
I
We
get another
recognize
2
your
minutes.
service and we're grateful for it.
That's
Is there any member of the public who is remote who would like to,
I don't think so.
all right, could I have a motion and second to close to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we're up to council comments. I'm gonna start, if you don't mind. I'd like to commend two of our police officers, whose names I should have written down, who responded to a call on Bogart Road today. There was a burglar alarm that went off. The call came through, I believe, a switching office to our police department. Our officers showed up and the house was locked. There was no entry, but they noticed there was condensation on the windows. So they contacted the resident, asked for the garage code. They entered the home, a pipe had broken in between the first and second floor, and the first floor and the basement were flooded.
Oh, my God.
It would have continued for another 4 hours or more, depending on their work schedule, if it hadn't been for our outstanding police department. Our fire department showed up, also the Oradell Fire Department showed up, and the New Milford, I believe, Fire Department showed up. The New Milford and Oradell were actually out on a call, had resolved that call, and were heading back when our call came in. Our Chief Schlossberg and Chief Caridi were there, as well as, what is Dave's, Deputy Chief, Stuckey. A phenomenal showing by our police department, phenomenal showing by our fire department. The resident was more than grateful, and it was something to see considering the amount of damage done to their home, how grateful they were. I'd also like to thank our police department and our DPW for everything they're doing to try to minimize the impact of all the grinding, milling and paving for our residents, going out of their way, knocking on doors, reminding residents to move so that no cars get towed. Costa Engineering and Jason Flores, who works for Costa Engineering, doing a wonderful job working with Tilcon and PSE&G. It is a very disruptive process, but it's moving ahead swimmingly because of the professionalism that we have in our DPW, in our engineering department, in our police department, and Patrick Diamond, Sergeant Diamond, for his coordinating a lot of this with traffic and safety. So we're very, very grateful for all of our professionals for what they do under the leadership of Chief Walker, under the leadership of Mr. Melito, under the leadership of Mr. Costa, and as well as under the leadership of our borough business administrator and borough clerk. Anyone else for comments, council comments? Councilwoman Malari.
I want to mention to the public, there's a great library program coming from EPC on October 23rd, next Wednesday, from 6 to 7:45. It's a program that Tony from Branco Farms from New York will be speaking about after the harvest and how to preserve your bounty for the winter.
Nice. Does that have a flyer yet?
The
And
flyer,
yes,
I'm not sure if he has a flyer.
if you could send it to me and I can throw it on the
Okay.
mayor's page, that would be great. Anything else?
Mayor, if I may.
Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to give a shout out to the Cultural Center. They have an exhibit going on, The Roots of Modern Day River Edge, 1946 to 1964. It's on the flyer here in the library. It runs till October 26th. But I was able to go to it during River Edge Day, and I would just highly recommend it to all people who live in River Edge. It was great seeing the photographs of places we're familiar with now and what they looked like 40, 50 years ago, and some of the famous citizens who lived here, et cetera. So I just recommend people stop by and take a look.
Excellent, excellent. Anyone else?
I just wanted to mention next Thursday, October 24, 2 to 6 p.m. is the last River Edge Farmers Market for the 2024 season. So come on by. There's a lot of great stuff going on.
And I'd like to thank the Farmers Market Committee as well as Councilman Kaufman for doing a phenomenal job. Is there anything else?
Yes, I'd actually like to second and third that. That was, she does a phenomenal job in the farmer's market. And I just want to give a shout out to, Ed Zamba, who had a teenage garage band palooza this past Saturday.
Yeah.
And they had 7 or so acts and it was great music and the kids ranged from, the youngest I think was 11 to teenagers and the Mousetrap was amazing and so was Broken Bros. So I
Excellent.
just hope they have it again next year.
Yeah, yeah, they're phenomenally talented. Steve is phenomenally talented.
Yes.
Perfect pitch.
Perfect pitch.
All right, is there any other comments? Hearing none, could I have motion second to close to the public and to close, no, I'm sorry, could I have motion second to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. Good night.
everybody.